You close your eyes. The room is dark. The bed is soft. Everything is exactly right for sleep. And then your brain starts talking. It replays the awkward thing you said 3 years ago. It runs through tomorrow's schedule. It invents problems that don't exist yet. It asks questions you can't answer at midnight. And no matter how many times you tell it to stop, it doesn't. It just gets louder. You're not broken. You're not anxious. You're not doing anything wrong. What's happening to you at night is one of the most ancient and misunderstood functions in the human brain. And the real reason it happens has nothing to do with stress. Screens or caffeine, it reaches back hundreds of thousands of years to a time when silence and darkness were the most dangerous moments of the day. Let's go back. Your earliest ancestors didn't sleep in beds. They slept on the ground, in trees, in caves, exposed, vulnerable, surrounded by predators that hunted at night. For most of human evolutionary history, the moment you closed your eyes was the moment you became prey. Lions don't announce themselves. Snakes don't warn you. The dark was not peaceful. The dark was lethal, so your brain developed a system, a survival system, built specifically for the in-between moment. That liminal space between waking and sleep where your guard was dropping and your body was going still. The system worked like this. Right before sleep, your brain would run a threat scan. Not a conscious one. Not a list you made deliberately. An automatic, unstoppable review of everything unresolved, everything uncertain, everything that could go wrong between now and morning. It was a final check before the lights went out. A last sweep of the perimeter. If something felt unresolved, a noise heard earlier, a confrontation avoided, an enemy not yet accounted for, your brain would flag it. Hold it. Refuse to release it until it was processed. That system kept your ancestors alive. It keeps you awake at 2 a.m., replaying your email inbox. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker, whose research on sleep at the University of California, Berkeley, has fundamentally changed how scientists understand rest, describes the pre-sleep brain as entering a state of heightened emotional sensitivity. During the transition into sleep, the prefrontal cortex, the rational, reasoning part of your brain, begins to power down. But the amygdala, the ancient threat detection center buried deep in the brain's limbic system, stays fully active. It doesn't power down at bedtime. It was never designed to. This creates an imbalance. The part of your brain that can reason, contextualize, and talk you down goes quiet. The part that screams danger stays wide awake. What's left is raw, unfiltered emotional processing, which is why everything feels bigger at night. The worry that seems manageable at noon feels catastrophic at midnight. The thought you dismissed at 3 p.m. loops endlessly at 3 a.m. This is not anxiety. This is your amygdala doing exactly what it was built to do, in an environment it was never designed for. Researcher Eddie Ben-Simon, also at UC Berkeley, published findings showing that sleep deprivation causes the amygdala to become hyper-reactive, up to 60% more responsive to negative emotional stimuli than a well-rested brain. But what's less discussed is the reverse. The pre-sleep brain, even before full deprivation sets in, shows a measurable spike in threat sensitivity. Your brain isn't just struggling to fall asleep. It's choosing, at a deep biological level, to stay alert a little longer. Because staying alert a little longer once saved your life. There's another layer to this. The human brain doesn't just scan for external threats at night. It processes social threats too. And for your ancestors, social threats were often more dangerous than physical ones. Being rejected from the group meant death. Being misunderstood by a tribal leader meant punishment. Failing to repair a damaged relationship meant losing the network of people who kept you alive. So the pre-sleep brain didn't just review predators. It reviewed people. It replayed conversations. It rehearsed responses. It ran social simulations. What if they meant this? What if I should have said that? What if tomorrow goes wrong? Because getting those social calculations right was survival. That's the argument made by evolutionary psychologist Nick Humphrey, whose work on the social brain hypothesis suggests that much of human cognitive complexity evolved not to solve physical problems, but social ones. Your brain at midnight is not malfunctioning. It is running the same social rehearsal software your ancestors ran every night around the fire. Except now the stakes feel lower. But the software doesn't know that. The irony is profound. The very intelligence that makes you human, the capacity for self-reflection, future planning, social modeling, is the same capacity that keeps you awake. Animals with less complex social brains fall asleep faster. Your dog doesn't lie awake rehearsing what it should have barked differently. Your cat doesn't spiral about tomorrow. But you do, because your brain is running calculations they were never built to run. So what does this mean for the night you're lying there, ceiling staring back at you, thoughts refusing to slow? It means the worst thing you can do is fight it. When you try to force your brain to stop thinking, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the very structure that was supposed to go quiet. You create a loop. Think less. Notice that you're still thinking. Get frustrated. Think about the frustration. Notice that now you're thinking about frustration. The more you chase sleep, the faster it runs. Sleep researcher Alison Harvey at UC Berkeley has studied this extensively. Her work on cognitive arousal before sleep shows that the effort to suppress pre-sleep thought actually amplifies those thoughts. A phenomenon researchers call the ironic process theory of mental control. The brain, when told not to think about something, increases its monitoring of that thought to check whether it's thinking about it. Its checking creates the very thing it was checking for. The way out is not suppression. It is direction. Your brain is going to think at night. That is not a malfunction. That is the system running. The question is not how to stop it, but how to give it something to process that is not catastrophic. Structured journaling before bed, where you write out unresolved thoughts and assign them a time and place to be addressed, has been shown in multiple studies to reduce pre-sleep cognitive arousal. You are not solving the problems. You are offloading them, telling the threat scanner that the scan is complete, that the unresolved items have been noted, that it can now stand down. The brain believes the list. It does not need the problem solved. It needs confirmation that they have been seen. This is why the oldest bedtime rituals in human history, prayer, storytelling, repetitive song, worked not as superstition, but as neurological offloading. Telling the day's events to a fire, narrating the threats that had passed, reciting the names of those you loved. These were the original versions of journaling. They closed the loop. They told the threat scanner the perimeter had been swept. Your brain at night is not your enemy. It is the most loyal sentinel you have ever had. One that has been standing watch over you every night since before you were born. Running the same ancient scan it has always run. Trying to keep you alive until morning. The problem is not that it thinks too much. The problem is that it's very, very good at a job the world no longer needs it to do quite so urgently. Close your eyes again. The room is dark. The bed is soft. And somewhere deep inside your brain, an ancient system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Keeping watch so that you can rest. You just have to tell it the perimeter is clear.